Mike, and 3, 2, 1, we'll be track 2.
They're telling me we just got some amazing pictures in from the Gulf of Mexico where that oil spill continues. We're going to bring you those in a short time, so stick around for that. That'll be in the next block. Meanwhile, we're going to kick off with the international hunt for a man accused of murder in Peru. Well, that's over now. Now, you've probably been hearing about this guy, Joran Van der Sloot. He's now in custody in Chile. This is video of Van der Sloot as he was taken in at a police station in downtown Santiago today. Now, he is the prime suspect in the death of 21-year-old Stephany Flores Ramirez. She was found dead on Wednesday in a hotel room that, wait for it, had been rented by Van der Sloot in Lima. Now, if you may remember this name, it's not the first time this Dutch national has been the focus of a criminal investigation. Van der Sloot was arrested and let go twice over the 2005 disappearance of the American teenager Natalee Holloway in Aruba. Holloway was never found. Van der Sloot is still considered a suspect in that case. Now, we wanted to know more about this case, especially from somebody who knows about the Natalee Holloway case, knows a lot about it. Jean Casarez of In Session, that's on CNN's sister network, True TV. She's a lawyer. She's been following the Van der Sloot story since it began. Here's our conversation. You've covered this case, if you like, the case of this guy for years from the very beginning. I'm curious what you make of him. One thing I don't know is what kind of guy he is. What have you learned about him? What's your sense?
You know, I don't think we really know what he's like, but let's look at the facts that we know about. He was raised in Aruba. His father was a judge in waiting, and so in an influential family. And when this all broke 5 years ago with Natalee Holloway, and it was 5 years ago to the day, should we say, that Ms. Flores, the victim in this case, went missing also. But he had the world before him, a privileged life, a very good life, and all of a sudden this happened. After that, you know, he was arrested several times. He was and still has been called the chief suspect in Natalee Holloway's disappearance, and now they believe murder. But after that, he went globe hopping, and he went all around the world confessing in different areas that he was responsible for Natalee Holloway's demise.
But nobody's sure whether he meant them, you were saying before, those confessions, whether he was serious about it.
Right, because what happened is we've learned that it was for news shows and investigative reporters, and he was actually paid money to give those various confessions. Money is something that he really likes and really wants, and it looks like that he will do many things to get it.
Yeah, what went through your mind when you heard he was a suspect in this case?
A lot of things went through my mind. First of all, this is very different because there's a body, there's going to be forensic evidence, there's videotape. But remember, when he left the casino with Natalee Holloway 5 years ago on Sunday, surveillance videotape saw the two of them walk out of the casino. Now, on the very same day, 5 years later, surveillance video, we understand, shows them walking out of the casino in Peru.
Just bizarre coincidences, because he met both girls in casinos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Playing at the tables.
Unbelievable.
There's a poker tournament in Peru.
So you were, how would you describe it? Were you surprised but not surprised? Or did you go,
well,
here we go again?
The second thought that went through my mind, if you want to frame somebody for murder, because this was a personal attack, this girl, Ms. Flores, was stabbed to death, she was beaten to death, that's personal. If you want to frame somebody for murder, Joran Van der Sloot's the man. I mean, how hated is he internationally, right? So
you've got to be careful not to jump to conclusions, is what you're saying.
There's always two sides to the story, but yet, if there's all the surveillance tape that they say there is in this case, then there's no better evidence than surveillance tape. As an attorney, I can tell you it is Exhibit A for prosecutions because it's there on tape.
Right, so not wanting, obviously we're not trying to prosecute him, but as a lawyer, when you look at this, would you say, yeah, I'd like to take this to court? From what you know.
It looks like it will be a very strong case. And I mean, for authorities to come out right from the beginning and say, this is our suspect, this is our only suspect, it showed that they had what they believed the probable cause that this murder had been committed by Joran Van der Sloot.
Now, I've got to ask about the media, us. I mean, we sometimes get an ongoing fascination with a particular case. Why do you think the media in this country in particular, but also around the world, became fascinated with Natalee Holloway and that case, as opposed to any number of other murders that happen every single day.
She was a young girl. She was graduating from high school. They went on their graduation weekend trip. She had her whole life before her, and we saw her in the marching band and in her drill team. And she was young, she was beautiful, she had parents that cared so much and came out publicly, and it became a fascination because there were no answers. They did not solve this. They couldn't solve this. Many people believe the Aruban government didn't care about solving it, but also look at the facts. They didn't have the body. Evidence kept changing. Inconsistency in statements kept going, but there have been those confessions by Joran, but the prosecutor has publicly come out saying a confession alone, we cannot take that to trial. We've got to have some corroborating evidence. If we can find that, we will take this to trial in Aruba.
Yeah, he just sounds like a bit of an odd guy. I mean, and what's he doing in Peru playing in casinos?
You know, I've spoken with Joe Tacopina, who has represented him in the Aruban situation. Joe Tacopina has told me that he's a troubled young man in many, many respects. Now, the counter to that, he's a cold-blooded killer. I
don't know if you're an expert on Peruvian law, but do you see any problems here getting him to court from Chile? And that's pretty stock standard sort of extradition thing.
I guess so, yeah. But you would think that there could be some issues in that because, you know, in this country, if you commit a crime in one state, but you're found in another state, there's an extradition procedure, but sometimes that's fought. You usually don't win. You usually end up back in the jurisdiction where the crime was committed, but you try to fight it. So will he get an attorney through international law? Interpol, which is the International Police Organization, is arranging it all. They're saying that extradition or expulsion from the country, you know, they just want to get rid of him.
Yeah, really.
Chile.
Yeah. You expect him to get a trip to Peru out of this? Go and cover this one?
Well, it'll be very interesting to see legally how this develops. And also, remember, Natalee Holloway, is that over? Is there any way that authorities could work together in this case to get answers for Aruba?
Yeah.
Possibly not. It's two different countries.
Jean Casarez, thanks so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.